Hello, my fellow nerds out there. It's Oracle Nerd Richie, and welcome to Pippy's Ultimate Quest for Friendship and Lessons. This is uh, this is this is another visual novel, I guess. Ooh, I love the custom cursor, by the way. This looks really nice. But anyways, this is another game I found on the web. It looked really cool, and the way the title is written, kind of reminds me of dang, what was it? It was Yuki's 4P quest. Yuki's passionate, palpitating, and quite frankly proficient way to. I don't remember what the full title was, but it reminded me of that, and I kind of wanted to play this on the channel. So, and wait, how many endings are there exactly? 2, 3, 4. There are 5 endings. Why would you get this ending? Why would you get this ending? Alright. Anyways, let's go ahead and start. In this universe, children are educated not through school, but through their own means, like themselves, their parents, or the government. They may also choose to learn what they like themselves, and is a plus if it contributes to the betterment of society. Extremely excited girl. One smoothie coming right up. Yeah, yeah. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Red eyes, snow white skin, hot pink messy hair, and a nauseating smile. One very bubbly rabbit by the name of Pippy works in and lives at the maid cafe. She has always wanted to work in the maid cafe. Now that she has the job, she's been enjoying it here a bit too much. La di da. When Pippy came out of the kitchen to serve the smoothie, she spotted an odd-looking bunch. Hey, who's that over there? She looks like she's around my age. I haven't seen anyone younger than 30 in a long time. Her dad looks intimidating, though. And they don't look very happy. Pippy finishes serving the smoothie to a customer. Ah well, I have my adult acquaintances at the cafe right now. No need to make friends yet. The day passes like any other, and another one begins. She's here again! The girl stared back at Pippy with an intense expression. Pippy looked away to wonder. Huh? Seems like she's aware of me at least. She's been coming here with her dad every day for the past week. I want to find a way to talk to her. Whoa! Pippy was so caught up with the curiosity that she fell in the kitchen. Ow, ow, ow. When she looked up and rubbed her head, she faced an open cabinet next to her. Pippy's eyes wandered over to the bottle with a bright pink liquid, which looks a lot like Pepto-Bismol. She reads the label on the bottle. Common complaints include vertigo, diminished hearing, lethargy, CNS, dysfunction, confusion, tinnitus, vomiting, and abdominal pain. These are all actual things that are on a Pepto-Bismol bottle, by the way. Yeah, maybe that'd be overkill. Next to the bottle shows us about some receipt paper and markers. What if I put a note on the lip of the drink? That way she's sure to see when she drinks it. But will she even see it? I want to meet her. How should I do this? Oh, use Pepto-Bismol on the girl. Why would I do that? I feel like that would be an ending. So, wait, can I save? Okay, yes, I can save. Thank God. Oh, what was that noise? Oh, it's just eat. Let's go with the safer route. Let's write a note to the girl. I think that's probably the better one. No time to waste. Hopefully this will work. Pippy begins writing out a tiny friendly invitation to play sometime. She then places it carefully on the lip of the girl's smoothie cup. Pippy walks out of the kitchen and serves the 2 cats. Here you go. Enjoy your drinks. Pippy winks at the both of them. Thank you very much. The young girl nods. Pippy slowly makes her way back to the kitchen, anticipating the next event. Oh, look at her peeking out from the side. She's peeking out from the side like, "Hey, how you doing?" This has always been fun. It's always funny to see moments like this. The girl inspects at the smoothie. She smells the smoothie. She tastes the smoothie, and finally gulps down the smoothie. But why didn't she notice the note? It didn't work. At least she's really enjoying the smoothie. The girl was stricken with panic and started to look queasy. Oh, yikes! I can't see well since I'm a rabbit, but I think the note fell inside the smoothie. What's gotten into you? I don't know. This drink. Pippy was blessed with gigantic ears for being a rabbit, so she was thrilled she could hear the conversations from afar clearly. Please let me use the restroom. No, it's too dangerous. Huh? Danger? What's so scary about the restroom? Despite her dad's efforts, the young girl suddenly charged towards the women's restroom. Well, looks like it still worked in a way. Time to apologize. Pippy entered the restroom shortly after. Pippy walks into the silence and stands behind a half-open stall when the young girl realizes it's her. What if you... She turns around and gags into the sink. Pippy cringes. Are you okay? The drink might have been a little much. Sorry. There was a note in there, but it fell inside. The girl glared menacingly at Pippy and spoke forcefully. With perfect timing, the youngest girl hacks up a soggy note into the sink, like a cat spitting a fur ball. Actually, she is a cat. Never mind. They both stare at the note. It seemed like you were tense around your dad, so I wanted to talk to you normally. I've never seen another kid, let alone another girl in a while. The girl became silent for a moment. What a way to meet someone. It's true you couldn't have just waltzed over to talk to me. My dad is pretty strict. Well, I noticed you guys kept coming here, so I might as well meet ya. Noticed that too, huh? Yeah, I recognize all my customers. I see. The other girl sighed, unable to think of any good that would come out of this. You're an interesting one, that's for sure. More interesting than my friends and siblings back at home. Oh, I also have siblings, but they take up too much space with my parents. Rabbits, you know. Yep. Well, I've gotta go now. Wait! Since we seem to be getting along pretty well, wanna be friends? My name's Pippy. What's yours? You don't ask someone to be your friend in real life. You just become friends with them. Sometimes. Well, I kinda like being upfront about things. Fair. I guess I'm that way as well. The young girl was unsure at first, but took a chance at Pippy's genuine expression and thoughtfulness. And truthfulness. Call me Ack. Wait, is it just Ack? That's an interesting name. Again, I'm going to go now. My dad is waiting. Are we gonna meet again? Maybe I'll give my dad some excuse. Just so you don't have to almost kill me again. Okay. It just sounds like you want to be friends with me too. I'm only here so I don't bore myself on a mission. She quickly corrected herself. Whatever. Whenever I come here. That means I'm not boring. Whatever. I'll come over to the restroom when I feel like it, so not every time. You can come after, but don't be so obvious. Roger that. Pippy used the restroom for real once Ack exited, excitement filling her veins. Pippy and I continued meeting once in a while when they could. Hold up, whoa, hold up. I can hardly read that. So, like, what's skin tight? Jesus. I can't read that fast. I'm not even touching anything. It's just doing that itself. Whoa, slow down. I literally met you 2 days ago. I can't tell you these things. It was also my turn to ask you a question. Pippy puffs her cheeks. Okay, fine. Why are you the only minor in uniform? Don't you find it weird working here? Good question. I was at the special case when they had to take me in. Where they had to take me in. I kind of see spirals in her eyes. I don't think it's a special thing. I think she forced them to. I don't know. I don't know. Looks can be deceiving. Not only that, this was my dream job. And even where I live now. Part of it is also because of my sibling situation, I guess. A special case. You live here? Yeah, I really like seeing the customers' happy faces. Even if all the men are over the age of 30. No discrimination. I'll reveal more if this game gets positive response. Really? Was that supposed to be a fourth wall break? Come on. Alright, you're very odd. Now your turn. Just one last question. Okay, Aqualicious? Why do you keep coming here? Act off for a moment. You look too cliché to be real. It would catch anyone's attention. Imagine that, a pink rabbit with a bright personality who happens to work in a maid restaurant. Because of that, we thought you were suspicious. I mean, interesting. Ask me to ask this, but since people usually like talking about it. There's another question, but what do you do? Ak sighed after hearing the question. Oh, alright. This is a little crazy to believe, but I'm one of those spies who keep peace in this world. It's called the Agent Association. It's basically like the government. You just don't see us and immediately realize that. Ignore Ak's attire. Actually, I was here to question you about anything odd happening. But here I am being questioned myself. I don't mind. What? Are you not going to ask anything? No! I actually think it's a bit admirable to be a spy. And if you were only here to question me, that's one more experience I get to have, being interrogated by a spy. Huh. You're odd and hopeless. Pipsqueak. Pippy gasps. And then she laughs. No one calls me Pipsqueak. Pippy nudges Ak and they chase each other. Aww. This continues to happen every few days over the course of half a month. The two found out they both liked running, so they chased each other and played hide and seek. Yes, within the restroom, these bonding little furballs zoomed. Neither of them have played with another child in a while. When it was time for Ak to leave again, Pippy was left with some time to think. I thought she'd be pretty shy, but she seems to be really nice. My siblings wouldn't talk to me the same way since I was the oldest. I can't wait to see her again. The two grew closer. Pippy was able to squeeze more answers out of her and vice versa. At the beginning of the new week, Pippy looked around for Ak. Also, I can barely hear the music. Hold on, okay? Turn the music up at all. Options. Nope, it's at max volume. Maybe I have to turn my computer's volume up then. There we go. Now I can hear it. Eat. With no luck. Maybe she'll come back with her dad tomorrow. But tomorrow and the next few days passed with no Ak. Where did she go? Perhaps it's her job? She did say it made her travel from place to place. Pippy thought for a while as she checked herself in the mirror. She always kept the uniform on since it was her favorite piece of clothing. And her only one. I can find her. At the end of the day, Pippy washed the dishes and wiped down the tables. Oh! Those actually look delicious. Oh, but... Though I would remove the tomatoes, honestly. Yeah, if you guys don't know anything about me, I hate tomatoes. They just don't taste good to me. The sun was setting, so she grabbed a snack of leftover sandwiches for herself and for Ak, just in case. Pippy was determined to find her friend. Off to the streets I go! Pippy entered the city streets and walked around. There aren't very many people this time of day. She should be easy to spot. Pippy heard some clattery steps a few blocks away. She ran for a bit towards the sound and waited for them to come. Oh? But instead of Ak, a tall girl came from the shadows of the alley. Her hair was a little disheveled and her body lengthy and awkward. Pippy stared at her in awe. Hello? Her voice was almost as soft as butter. But had a stutter. Whoa! I've never seen a bird thing around the city before. Thank you? Was that supposed to be a compliment? I mean, sure. A real compliment would be that you were very pretty, but never mind. Are birds supposed to have horns? Never mind again. Oh, alright. Oh, right. Pippy remembers why she was in the city in the first place. While I'm talking to you, ask for help finding Ak. Keep looking for Ak yourself. Oh! I'm gonna save here just in case. Let's ask her for her help. Have you seen a girl named Ak? She's about this tall and this cute. Pippy pointed to herself for measurement. I'm a little taller though. The girl paused and thought for a moment. She looked around before continuing. Come with me. I think I know where she is. Gosh, I always forget to ask this when I first meet someone. What's your name? Mix. It's a pretty unusual name. I'm Pippy. It's nice to meet you, Mix. I don't think your name is unusual at all. Just uncommon. They stayed in silence for a while. Are you sure you know where Ak is? Oh yes, of course. Let's be friends. Mix raises an eyebrow. Aren't they just helping you find your friend? Why do I need to be your friend? Oh, that's okay. Pippy continued following Mix down the alleyway. So, what do you do? Why do you have a stutter? Mix sighed a small sigh. You sound like my friend when she sighs. Child. Ah, you're finally talking to me. I'm 11 and a half, by the way. You only look 15 or 16. Do you know how we are alive today? How are we alive? Is it because we were born? No. Well, long ago, there was a hierarchy. What kind of hierarchy? It was a terrible world. Inhumane. Despite it being animal people? Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Folk would attack other folk for resources and food. It was animalistic. I get it. Today, you see, that world is not so different from ours. Why are you telling me all this? Oh, you want to know? Because I'm gonna eat you. Oh, Well, Mix flew into the air and dove towards Pippy. Hey! Pippy dodged her talons with her speed and use of obstacles around her. That attack was pretty sloppy. She clearly doesn't know what she's doing. Come here. And she dodged them again. I think she's hungry. Calm down, I'm not the only thing you can eat. Have you always eaten animals? Mix was already worn out and drooling. No, but Here, if you're hungry, you can eat the sandwich. Pippy waved her leftover sandwiches she gathered from the cafe towards Mix. Well... They both... Oh, Jesus! They both opened their mouths in surprise when Og fell down from above. Cat! I just heard that. Just dong. Mix flew back into the sky as soon as she saw Og, but hit her head on a loose pipe on a frantic way up. So somebody has to draw that. Jesus! On the way down, Mix fell into the dumpster. What is going on? Og, why are you here? This is where I live. I had no choice but to come out. You. Og looked at Pippy. Worried me. Pippy looked like she just got injured for real. And you! Og shortened the distance between herself and the dumped Mix, creating tension. You know. Please don't hurt me. I taste like chicken. Is that supposed to make me not want to attack you? Because it's doing the opposite. Oh no. Mix cowered and Og started readying. A weapon? Og! Pippy grabbed Og's arm and persuaded her at almost a whisper. Don't hurt her, please. What do you mean don't hurt her? She almost killed you. Oh gosh, I just realized she has a little thing on her head. You're even stuttering like her now. Well, she seems not very bright. I mean, I can't read that fast. My God. Okay, wait. Can I just lower the text speed? Okay, back. Oh. Nope. Lowering the text speed does nothing. Og continued staring at her. I needed help finding you. So I went to this alleyway. Well, isn't it a little smart to bring you here since no one can hear you scream? Hey! Mix tried escaping, but Og was still watching her movements. Are you two done now? I kinda need to go. Og looked at Pippy, who was grinning. Ugh, fine. Leave, bird. Wait, here's a sandwich. Mix catches it with both her wings. How do I know there's nothing in this? Og eyed Pippy again, who was still smiling. You don't. Ravenous, Mix ate it anyways and left the dark alleyway. After waking the following day, the manager handed Pippy a letter addressed to her. She opened it, and inside the contents of the letter were a letter of apology. It was anonymous, but Pippy could infer who had sent it. I sincerely apologize for trying to eat you. I was starving, so everything looked tasty to me. It's an animal instinct some still have. I hope you understand. I thank you for your kind gesture and offering me the sandwich. It's awfully formal. It better be. I wonder how she was able to write with wings. I'd assume she used her talons or something. Why is she so scared of you? I'm a cat, duh. But that food chain doesn't even exist anymore. You're right. I'm not sure what she was thinking. She did say she was just hungry. Just hungry? What if you actually got hurt? It proves you shouldn't walk around the streets trusting the first person you see. You saw! I know how to fight if I get in a bad situation. Yes, I was surprised you knew how to fend for yourself. Why did you try becoming friends with the both of us? Well, I thought both of you can be nice people. I don't think you should judge people based on their appearance or what they do for a living. Yeah, okay. But you can see where kindness got you with this bird, and you're still going to try? I only met her once. I want to see her again. Just not the whole eating part. From what I know, people have different layers. One of the most common examples is cold-looking person. Pippy coughs. But once you get to know them, they will show you a completely different side of that to them. So maybe there's a whole different layer to her character. Are you kidding me? That stuff only appears in fairy tales. She sent an apology letter. This is the real world. People don't always go by their word. Look at how far you've come. What are you implying? You're not even listening. Why do I bother? I swear one day all this is going to bite you in the back. Pippy stayed insistent, making Og sigh once again. But if you really have to, I'll cover for you in case. Yay! Pippy embraces Og. Og blushes. I'm so glad no one ever comes to this restroom. That evening, Pippy and Og see Mix at... I don't know if it's Mix or Meeks. I'm just gonna go with Mix, because that just seems simpler. Pippy and Og see Mix in the streets, pacing back and forth. Looking frightened, Mix apologized. I'm so sorry I almost ate you. Please know that I've changed. Okay. Have mercy. Wait, really? Just be my friend. But I tried eating you. Isn't that pretty messed up? I'm already friends with a cat. I didn't get a choice. But maybe immediately judging people isn't great. Pippy would not have been my friend if that was the case. Yay, character development! Fucking love these fourth wall breaks. Also, I really like how each of their text boxes are like little customed with a little symbol. So, am I supposed to hang out with you guys or something now? How else are we going to be friends? Right. On the weekend, all three friends gathered in the city since it was Pippy's day off. Currently, Pippy was carrying the conversation. Yippee! Now I have a bird and a cat that can see things for me. Why don't you get glasses if you can't see well? Well, that wouldn't make me look as cute as I do now, would it? Og and Mix did a facepalm in sync. Afterwards, everyone went back to silence. You two are quiet. What do you guys think of my ponytail? The same hot pink mess as always. What about my hair? Super long and pretty and matted. Oh god. I know where this is going. Hey, why can't you have long hair, Og? I have a job where hair would just get in the way. But that's why But that's why I have some style somehow. Check out these bangs. Og flipped her bangs. More like Grease House. Shut up. Just because my species is not a threat doesn't mean I can't murder you personally. Mix provokes Og. I keep almost saying Aqua for some reason. How would you even see me with your poor depth perception? Just saying, your hairstyle seems very impractical. I think someone has a death wish today. I think you look cool. Thanks. Pipsqueak, I feel like we should rethink our friendship with Mix. No, please. You're so tall, but your voice is so tiny. Uck, Mix, I didn't do anything. You started it, but Uck continued it. Why don't you two get along? You shouldn't expect us to just get along because you're friends. Because we're your friends. Yes, and for once I agree with her. Then what can I? Then what can we all do to realize we're not so different? Mix. You don't know how to fight, right? Uck or I can teach you. And Uck, you don't know how to Mix. What do you do? I consume history book. Oh, I wasn't able to read that. I consume history books for the sake of preserving the world's culture because it. I couldn't read that for Pete's sakes. I think I might go back on the recording and just read it for myself for context. You guys can feel free to pause the video if you want to read that too. Cool. You can teach Ak and I about interesting things. Bonding time. I didn't get to say any of this. Hey, wait. The three walked to the border of the city where there was a park with a giant field. They had the field all to themselves. Alright, Pipsqueak, what's your brilliant plan? Where do we start? With this. Hey-ya! Pippy downswept at Mix's legs, but she flapped her wings in time to keep herself from face planting. Eep! I almost fell. What's the deal? You gotta think fast. We're both your enemies now. Oh yeah? I think I'm going to like this. Ox started speeding everything out of Mix. Just kidding, she almost did though. On second thought, this seems like straight up bullying. So Ock, you will coach Mix while I attack both of you. Eh? Huh. Okay. I hope your brain can understand brawn. Pippy frolicked to the other side of the field so Mix and Ock could sort things out. Oh my god, look, look at the chibi version of her over there. That's hilarious. Now, attack Pippy. How, Teach? You calling me teacher is weird. Shouldn't you know? You're older by like 6 years. Just use your talons, horns, teeth. I don't know, anything sharp. You're a pretty bad teacher. Ock got serious. Hey, I'm only putting up with you because Pipsqueak told me to. But I saw you fall in the alley. It was pretty sad, so I'm going to give you real advice. Since you can't fight, try avoiding things and outsmarting your enemy. Got it? Sneak attack, woo! Please, let's continue this later. Teach me how to fly, Mix. I think it's common sense that rabbits can't fly. Sure. Yes! Jeez, can't you see she's trying to get us killed? Both ignored Ock. Mix flew to the highest tree and Pippy started climbing the tree ASAP. For animal's sake, this wasn't part of the plan. Pippy, why don't you show us something? Oh, I didn't think that far ahead. Let's see. This is how to run away. Come back! Don't you want her to teach us something instead? Yes, I do. I know you can run faster than me, so here's a tip. Watch her patterns and run where she goes. If she tries to pull a detour, I'll chase her towards you. We can both trap her this way. Ock nods. Got it. Okay, she's running in a circle. An awfully weird circle. Mix was working on making Pippy run in a proper circle. I hide behind the soccer goal until Mix gives a signal. Hey, Mix can't catch me. Now! Caught you. Oh, Pippy was easily caught when Ock ran behind her. What? This is what you get for running. After pulling Pippy's hair a little, Ock looked up at Mix. And Mix, that was kind of cool. Just following the teacher's directions. At the end of the day, all three of them lay on the grass in the middle of the field. Well, this is cool. They listened groggily to Mix's stories. You know, in 20XX, we all used to be tiny. Really? Like ant-sized tiny? Not quite. Animals grew more intelligent over time, and now have human-like features to show it. When you mentioned ants, I guess mammals were the only ones similar enough to humans to accomplish such a feat. What about birdies? 'Cause, like, you're a bird, right? I mean, yeah, birds aren't actually mammals, so... Yes, avians also became smarter. Does that mean humans still exist? No, actually. Oh, so humans don't exist in this world. Huh. Animal features were dominant genetically and more useful environmentally. We will always see someone with an animal feature. It's pretty impressive. Although there's more diversity, the world is pretty much at peace. Wow. I guess that was kind of fun. I didn't think knowledge about the world would be interesting. Right? I love this education system. I'm so glad we have Mix. Learning other things was cool too. I needed to know how to fight. Correction, how to strategically avoid your foes since you can't fight. Mix smiled. Same thing. Pippy, what did you do? I taught everyone how to have fun. Fair. Fair. Pippy, Ock, and Mix continued doing random things around the city. Together for a month, every weekend. They went to other cafes, other parks. Pippy tried forcing scrawny Mix to fly her and Ock to the sunset. You can guess how that went. See what I mean? Pippy looked confused. What do you mean? How... While Mix was talking, Pippy gazed around the city, not for anything in particular. However, a person with yellow hoodie and glasses caught her attention. Oh? And that's the meaning of life. Pipsqueak, did you hear Mix? She's clearly not paying attention. Guys, do you know what animal that person is? They're actually one of my customers. Pippy pointed directly at the person with horns and mysterious ash-gray skin. You're being so obvious. Quit pointing. Mix tried swatting Pippy's pointing hand, only for Pippy to use her other hand. Now you mention it, I don't know what they are. Their clothing covers up a lot. A dog, perhaps? But yeah, isn't it summer? Why are they dressed like this in the negatives? Is it... Are you an idiot? Dogs don't have horns. You've never even seen a dog with horns. It could be evolutionary. I mean, a bird with horns? Impossible. Sarcasm is not your thing. I think it'd be fun to befriend them. Please, pretty please, can I go talk to them? It had been a while since Pippy wanted another friend. Why are you even asking us? It's up to you. Mix looked over it like she had something to say, but wasn't going to say it. I'll go say hi right now. Hello, stranger, kind of. Pippy ran to the other person. Mix and Ock immediately look at each other. You better tell me what she's saying because I can't hear a dang thing this far. I would have anyway. Oh! This guy looks pretty cool. The person looked up from their phone at Pippy. Golden person? Who do we have here? Oh, you're Pippy from the cafe. Yep, that's me. My friends and I thought you looked really interesting. Pippy pointed directly at the two across the street. Ak winced. What did she say? I've never asked you this before, but what animal are you? They smirked. That, as a matter of fact. They raised their glasses with a finger. It is a great question. I'm a dog, you see. I knew it! This is perfect! Wait, why is it perfect? Never mind. Want to hang out with us? They looked down at Pippy. Sure, I got nothing better to do. Yay! This time I won't forget to ask. So, what's your name? Digit. Hello, Digit. Hello, Pippy. Pippy walked and talked Digit over to Mix and Ak. This is Ak and this is Mix. Why, hello. A cat, huh? From the Asian Association? Wait. How did you know I was from the association itself? Pure intuition. Ak, I think you just gave yourself away too fast. Maybe. Hey, I think spies are awesome. Psh, thanks. Ak is too easy to compliment. And a bird. I haven't seen a bird in a while. They're not too common in the city. Yeah. Mix was not making eye contact. Nice to meet you both. Thus the four started to hang out together. Digit made themselves better known to Ak and Mix. You know, you're more chill than anyone here. Yeah, I get that once in a while. Speaking of chill, who wants ice cream? Yes! Actually, aren't you hot in those clothes? Why don't you just wear less clothing? Nah, I'm good. I've got a lot of hair under this beanie, so it'd be the same temperature anyway. Why does everyone have long hair? That's it. I'm going to grow mine out. You're actually kind of normal, Digit. I thought you'd be stuck up. Where did you get that idea? Another person around can't be so bad. Told y'all so. Digit came to the cafe by himself to meet Pippy alone. Okay, I think I'm gonna save for right here. This is a really good game. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason.